Hello everybody, my name's James. Welcome to the Planet FPL Gameweek 9 deadline stream, and it's live. Hope you're all well. The deadline is around about 55 minutes away. Apologies for being slightly late. A few technical issues, a few cobwebs in the system, all sorted out now, ready to go to answer as many of your dilemmas as possible in the next 55 minutes or so before the 6:30 p.m. UK FPL Gameweek 9 deadline. Firstly, a couple of things to go through. We did a whole podcast on Romelu Lukaku replacements this morning. If you're here to look for a Romelu Lukaku replacement, I highly recommend. Thanks very much. See you later. That's 36 minutes long. Go and listen to that, and you can come back and catch the end of this stream. My team is on screen. -8 taken. Barnes, Greenwood, and Lukaku all gone. -8 in Mbeumo, Kai Havertz, captain, and Harry Kane. I line up this week 4-4-2, Sarr, Livramento, Rudiger, Tierney, Cancelo, Salah, Rafinha, Havertz captain, Mbeumo, Antonio vice captain, Harry Kane. On the bench, Foster, Jota, Lowton and Zakiri, who's doing quite well in Germany apparently. Below him, top captaincy picks for the game week. My top 10 preferential choices in order. I do believe that it's landed on our lap from nowhere that Kai Havertz is the best captaincy choice this game week. For anybody going, but you have to go Salah. You can go Salah. Of course you can. I realise if Mo Salah returns this week, I'm in a bad place because his effective ownership will no doubt be above 100%. But that's fucking boring captaining the same player every week. So I'm going somewhere else. And do I believe Havertz and 4 other players, De Bruyne, Antonio and Vardy, are all capable of outscoring Salah this week? Yes, I really do actually. So I'm swinging elsewhere. Below me, you'll see benching dilemmas, choices between 2 players. The player with a tick is the player I would choose to start out of the 2 options. They are listed in order from 1 up to 20. First 4 pages are outfield players, page 5 is goalkeepers. I will go through them in order for you briefly now. Trent over Tony, Tony over Jimenez, then Armstrong, Armstrong over Wood, Wood over Mbeumo, Mbeumo over Benrahma, Benrahma over Gray, Gray over Gallagher, Gallagher over Livramento, Livramento over Saka, Saka over Jota, Jota over Cody, Cody over White, White over Lowton, Lowton over Duffy, Duffy over Manquillo. If you have a benching dilemma question, do have a check of the graphics, please. Your players may well be there. Goalkeepers, I'd go Ramsdale over Gator, Gator over Raya, Raya over Martinez, Martinez over Sanchez. And to the left of me on the screen, you will see my correct score predictions for all 10 games this week. A few of them, you're going to go, what? But they're my predictions, so it is what it is. Let's get into the questions. Good luck, everyone. Essen is first. Hey, mate. Deadline at 1:30 AM over here. Would you take a hit for Gray, Sarr to Havertz captain? And regardless of whether you would you rather sell Gray or Sarr? Cheers, have a good evening. I don't really think you can sell Gray with that fixture. So by default, it would have to be Sarr. So I'd keep Damari Gray at the moment. It'd be very interesting to see what his position is going to be like with Richarlison, I presume, back in the Everton team. Yeah, it would be Sarr out. Either way, yes, we'll take the hit. Jeremy Kalud, I need to bench one of Laporte and Mbeumo and Iheanacho. Which one would you pick? Thank you, James. From that lot and Mbeumo, don't bench Manchester City players, mate. Ayab Seller, well, not first team regulars anyway. Ayab Seller, hi James, which is the better FPL asset, Tony or Mbeumo? Thanks. Probably Tony, but then he costs about 0.8 more, doesn't he? It is probably Tony. I'm pretty sure come the end of the season, Tony will be their talisman. And Mbeumo offers a great alternative from a budget perspective, right? Mohammed says, evening James, hope you're well. Loved the People's Poll. It was profound. The idea of Suj getting a tummy bug was hilarious. Are we talking about the same podcast? Looking forward to the stream. Thanks. Best wishes for game week 9. Thank you, mate. Good luck. Gavinio 99. Hi James, would you do Saka to Havertz for a hit if we get an indication that Saka's bench tonight? Cheers. I'd do it anyway, mate. End of that. Luke Hopkinson, afternoon James. Dilemma bench, Mbeumo or Laporte? I think I've just done that one for someone else. I'm all in on Havertz captain as well. Good luck, mate. Enjoy. I answered that in the previous queue. You'll know the answer. Milan the Villain. Hi, James. No question this week. Thanks for the great content throughout the season. It's bloody shame this channel doesn't have the recognition it deserves. Cheers from Windsor, Ontario. I appreciate that, my man. And I know you're subscribed. And I know you've already hit the like button. For everybody else in the stream, please do the same. And if you don't like the stream, I don't even mind if you hit the thumbs down, because apparently that's all good for Planet FPL. It's just, you know, gets the word out there and stuff. If you really just hate it, the best thing you can do is leave. FPL Invincible says, afternoon, James. First, Ollie Blake. Hi, James. Hope you're all good. Would you do Greater Habits for a hit? Thanks and coys. Let's leave that shit, right? Because if you're giving me Grays, Sars, Sakas, all these sort of players, would I take a -4 to get Havertz in? Yes, of course I would. I've just removed Greenwood from -4. So anything below that level you're asking me, I'm almost definitely going to say yes. FPL Invincibles this afternoon, James. Last 2 conundrums for the deadline. Do you think it is worth a -4 hit to sell one of Foden, Rafinha for Havertz, Start and Bremo or Adam Armstrong? Yeah, I'd sell Foden for the -4. No problem. Rafinha I wouldn't. I don't fancy Leeds this weekend with Calvin Phillips missing, but look over the horizon, Norwich away next week, so Rafinha's going nowhere. Foden, unbelievable player, brilliant talent. You can get him back if you want. They don't have fixtures coming up in the next 6 where I think they're going to go mental, and they all share the returns anyway, and he'll share minutes. As good as he is, he might even play tomorrow. Phil Foden. There's every chance he won't start. Start and Bremo, Adam Armstrong. You'll find both of them on the bench in dilemmas, mate, and you'll find your answer is Adam Armstrong. Joe Burns says, what's your ideal front three medium term plus thoughts on Broha and open up double Chelsea City at the back? Thanks. Fucking hell, there's a lot going on for little words. I'm glad you condensed it, though. Ideal front three going forward, for me, once I hit game week 14, before I wildcard in game week 16, it's Tony, Kane and Wilson. But for right now, it would be probably Kane, Tony. I mean, to be honest, if there's money's immaterial, I'll have Vardy, Aubameyang, Kane, right? It's probably Kane and Vardy's not realistic to put in there alongside Salah. So it's Kane and then two budget ones for me. I think Vardy will outscore Kane over the next 3, by the way. Just not enough for me to justify going Vardy and then moving to Kane. So I've gone straight to Kane, as that was always my game week 12 plan. If you're wondering why I sold Greenwood rather than Jota, by the way, I think I might get more use out of Jota than Greenwood over the next 2 to 3 game weeks. If I don't, he's going as well, and the plan is he's going to go at some point. So Kane, Tony, I still think Antonio the next 2. And then honestly, Callum Wilson's going to come into your thoughts, I think. On Broha, covered this on the podcast today. We covered it on the podcast Monday. Who knows if he's going to start again? Who knows how long it lasts? He's 5 million, so it's less of a gamble. You can get him in as your third forward. But if you buy that player, realistically, you should start him every week, in my opinion. And that's the danger. I don't know where we're at. Che Adams is fit. I think Adam Armstrong probably comes into the team tomorrow. Is that for Redmond? Could it be for Broha? So we just haven't got the Southampton forward information, unfortunately. And it's a shame because we've got 4 very good fixtures coming up, but it's just not worthwhile for me. Amber Redmond said, what's for dinner, James? I'm told fish cakes, apparently. Luke Hopkinson, I'm off to Ellen Road, hopefully get 3 much needed points. But who do you support, Luke? Leeds or Wolves? I wish you luck either way. Wavy, hi James, good luck this weekend. Looking forward to seeing your score predictions. They're on the screen. TJ Powell says, hey James, God, aren't Friday deadline the worst? I can't stand it, mate. I had no time to breathe today. And despite the fact I on the podcast this morning, I said, please try not to DM me today. I must have got more DMs today than ever, which tells me the people that are listening to my podcast and who ain't, which is good actually. No question, just a reminder to everyone, the answers on the screen. Delete, repeat questions, and remember, it's just a game. Have a great weekend. That's right, mate. You have a good one too. Vivek Gore, should I sell Adam Armstrong to Edouard for a hit? No chance. Keep Armstrong. If you got Adam Armstrong, I wouldn't sell. If you're worried about that, you've got to stick it out for this week, I think, at least. And I actually think there's a possibility that Edouard might not start for Palace tomorrow. Zaha's going to come back in, so for who? Paul Spencer 007 says, hi James, should I start Sarr away at Everton or Livramento at home to Burnley? Many thanks. I would start Ismaila Sarr actually, mate. Alistair Coper, hey mate, would you get Vardy this week and bench Diaz, or just roll and play Diaz and get Kane next week with 2 FTs? If I go Vardy, I'll do him to Kane in 12. Thanks. There's not a bench in Ruben Diaz, and as he got a break last Saturday, it's very difficult to imagine. And with Carabao cut in midweek, it's very difficult to imagine he's going to get a break this week. You want to leave Ruben Diaz on a bench, mate. Alistair suggests you're in a very, very good position with your squad, and if you're in doubt, don't do anything, as I always say to you, mate. Lewis James says, afternoon James, good luck this game week. Are you looking for employment after forgetting your boss's birthday today? Yes, it's Suji's birthday, and I recorded 2 podcasts with him this morning. I didn't say a word till someone tweeted it. FPL fella, I think I have to thank, tweeted it out. Made me look a complete prick, deservedly so as well. But we were recording at stupid o'clock this morning to try and get the content out for you in time. Lewis, thanks for the additional support as well, my man. FPL Dougal, yo Jimbo, I'm Jimbo. Yo, Jimbo, I'm getting some serious Havertz FOMO. Despite already taking a hit, should I take another cheeky -4 to bring in and captain Havertz for Rafinha and bring Raf back in next week? If you bring him back in next week, mate, are you bringing him for next week? Because I'll tell you now, I don't think you'd be selling Havertz next week, is my opinion. If you're sitting there thinking Lukaku's going to be back for next week, I highly doubt it. Andrew Grandin, hi James, played one of Jota, Greenwood or Livramento. Don't love Jota's minutes or Greenwood attacking Liverpool's left. Think Tino might have the best shot at Hall. What do you think? Thanks. Honestly, ironically, although I own Jota and Livramento and sold Greenwood, had I not made the moves, I would have started Greenwood out the three, honestly. That would have been the way I'd gone. So, Greenwood. Lee Thompson says, hi James, is Mount an option if you can't get to Havertz? Bring in for Smith Rowe would mean Vardy instead of Lukaku to Kane straight swap. Look, it's okay. It's a reasonable sideways. It doesn't... There's no saying that Mount can't outscore Havertz, right? Of course he can. And I'm sure Mason Mount will tick over quite nicely in the next couple of weeks. Not of interest to me. If you can't get to Havertz, yes, of course, he offers you a nice little alternative. I would consider, genuinely, anybody asking me now, I've got 6 million to buy a midfielder and it can't be Mbuemo, I can tell you now the answer will be Callum Hudson-Odoi. Seriously consider Callum Hudson-Odoi as even an alternative to Mount. James says, Buongiorno. Is there any circumstance in which you would bench Trent? For example, this week I have Sarr first sub and TAA starting with Azpi, Rudiger and Cancelo. No, there is no circumstance in any game week where I would bench Trent Alexander-Arnold unless I thought he wasn't going to play. It's the only thing I could think. Genuinely was sitting there going, he's not going to play. No, if it was Man City away, Chelsea away, make no difference to me. Trent plays. I've actually put him at the top of the bench in dilemmas this week just to kind of prove a point, because I always say don't bench the forward, right? Well, I'd play Trent over Tony, over Jimenez, over Armstrong, over Wood. I've done that to kind of make a point. There's never bench a Trent as far as I'm concerned. James Nelson says, hi James, thanks for all the amazing content, good luck this week. Havertz coming in, but for who? Saka, Sarr, Ben Rama, appreciate your opinion. Saka's easy one to get rid of, isn't it? Once you get beyond this week as well, suddenly you look at it and go, Leicester away, Liverpool away, 2 of the next 3. I realise there's Watford at home in the middle of there, but also, let's have a look back. Saka scored in 1 game this season against the mighty fucking Tottenham Hotspur, decided to play some abysmal 4-1-5 formation that no expert has been able to work out what Nuno was attempting that day. So that's the only game he scored in. What kind of an asset is he really? I don't think Saka plays tonight either. I don't think he'll make it, is my honest opinion. And I'm not there. I don't know what happens. Arteta did his press conference yesterday and said he'll have to be assessed. What does it mean? No idea. My best guess is they probably won't risk him tonight. Hamish Holmes says, yes, James, love a Friday deadline stream. Talk to me about the merits of Callum Hudson-Odoi as an option. I'm intrigued. Surely not over a second Chelsea defender. If I was wildcarding right now, I would go on wildcard Havertz, Hudson-Odoi and Rudiger. Those are the 3 I would go with. And I've just spoken about him. Soft Koresk. Hello, everybody. How are you today? One quick question, James. Who to start? Adama Traore or Jimenez? It's Jimenez, mate. Obviously Bruno Lage said he might be in for a rest. It makes no sense to me. He's just had a week's rest. He didn't start at Villa. Was he still got jet lag or something? I'm sure Raul Jimenez wants to play football and was beginning to get into a little bit of form before the international break. Doesn't make sense to me. I think Jimenez will play personally. Alejandro Perez, hey James, is it worth taking a second hit to get Semedo out for Azpilicueta or James? In my opinion, no. Because this is the case where you're taking a hit for the player and they might not play. So I don't like hits for rotational defenders, unfortunately. Like, genuinely, I could look at my team now and go, God, James, you could take another -4, you know, and get Ben Chilwell, for example. Could. Ben Chilwell, 90%, I would say, play. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. My defenders haven't got that bad fixtures this week. It's not worth it. And, as you'll see, I think Wolves will probably win at Leeds tomorrow. And I think there could be a clean sheet in it for Semedo. So it's got to be a no. Tammy Gould says, is it worth take -4 to move from Lukaku to Kane? Yes, I've done it, mate. JJ Kocha, hi James, can you do a Arsenal Aston Villa combined 11? As in best assets from each? Okay, let's go. I'll tell you what, Hold me to that question. I'll remember to do it at 6:30 p.m. That's the first thing I'll do after the deadline. Combine Arsenal Villa 11. Sam Holden says, "Hey James, I really like my team going into this game week, except Jimenez news. However, Livramento and Mbeumo on bench. What's your thoughts on strategy having 14, 15 legit options each week?" Yeah, of course, it's fine. Depends on your playing style. Depends on what you want as a manager. Are you happy to leave points on the bench that obviously could return? Do you want all your money to be in your first 11? I think a lot of us are going with players like Chelsea, Man City defenders who are rotational problems, where they could get left out in any week. So people like Livramento are absolutely ideal bench options at the moment. Hamish Holmes says, Sky question, best replacement for Lukaku in Sky, Cancelo or Chelsea's defender other than Rudiger? So, plan A, I discussed this on our Patreon pod this morning, Hamish, is my plan is I'm going to Azpilicueta tomorrow, if he's in the team. And the plan with that is, obviously, Lukaku to Azpilicueta. FPL listeners, just switch off for 20 seconds because this will confuse you. And then on the Sunday when Tottenham play Leeds, I'm going to go from Antonio. I'll have the exact money to go from Antonio to Kane. That's my plan. If Azpilicueta's not in the team, I don't know what I'm going to do. And once I've got time to sit down and have a proper look tonight, I'll come up with a plan B. But if you can just go to players like Cancelo, Azpilicueta, you'll obviously see the Chelsea team tomorrow before you have to make a decision. Yeah, these are great options. These are great options. I wouldn't discount Aubameyang tonight if you don't have the coverage as an option. Similarly, if you don't have coverage for Southampton and Aston Villa, Watkins or Rings are worth considering. You could still go to Kane on Sunday. There are other options. Kevin De Bruyne, Kai Havertz. There are loads of options. Kai Havertz, I'm going to be 0.2 short in Sky. Otherwise, I probably would have gambled that. Triple trapped in afternoon, James. I know you're wild carding. When I say short, I'm obviously not short of Lukaku to Havertz in Sky, but I am short of then that move Antonio to Kane, which is where I want to get to now. Triple trapped in afternoon, James. I know you're wild carding quite late. How many moves away from your perfect wild card are you? Well, I'm dead-heading to 15, right? So I have to say I saw one team's wild card this week. Their team had locked it in, posted it today, and had 8 on my starting 11 from this week. And I think, fucking hell, how far away am I? If I was to wild card now, Hudson-Odoi would be in there. Therefore, I'd probably be 3-5-2. I think I'd probably have Kane, Tony. I think the midfield 5 could be exactly the same. And I don't think the backline would be that different. Saar wouldn't be in goal. I'd probably go with a cheaper one in hindsight. But it's not worth fucking about with. It is what it is. Not that far away if I was to wild card now, to be honest. Having just taken a -8. And I think that was the right decision. So many people are going to end up taking hits this week. I need to fix a few little things. If that's my backline till game week 16 now, I can live with that. If that's the midfield, the 4 that's starting for me this week, that's fine. My plan at the moment is to go Havertz to Son in 12, which just means slight manoeuvres. I want to get Tony in for Antonio. Jota's probably coming down to a 4.5 that's going to get me Zakiri up to Wilson. Those are the kind of moves I've got in mind at the moment. Steve Jones, buying a Chelsea defender this week without any budget problems, long-term option, who would you go for? Most weeks Livramento will be the sub, so if they miss the odd game it shouldn't be too bad. Well, if that in mind, I mean the one with the high scenes, Chilwell, like even I have to begin to admit it, and I think week on week the case for Ben Chilwell is looking stronger and stronger. Look, I've even got him on, I got him 8th on the captaincy picks for this week. Like if you're to punt a defender for captaincy this week, that's who I'd punt. So I think in the case if you've got strong bench and you can deal with the issue, Ben Chilwell's got the highest ceiling. For the security, I think Rudiger is worth the little saving over Aspi still, personally. Dion Chung, thoughts on Harvey Barnes? My thoughts are he had to go. He scored 4 last week without him. He scored 4 in midweek without him. There's every chance now that he's got the break in midweek. He plays tomorrow, on Sunday rather. But I don't see how or where if they stay with the back 3 now. Where does he play? Or do they go back to back 4? Surely they don't. Can he play at 10? Behind Vardy and Iheanacho? I guess so, possibly. There seems to be something that Rodgers doesn't like about Barnes and Iheanacho in the same team. It's got to go for me. If he plays, he plays. It's enough. I tried. I really tried. I got this far. I was patient. Swizz says, hi James, hope you're well. Which 2 would you bench from Rafinha, Benrahma, Livramento, Pepe, Jimenez, Tony? Which 2 would I bench from that? Jimenez, Tony definitely play. Rafinha definitely plays. Personally, I'd gamble on Pepe playing. And then Benrahma and Livramento last out of that, actually. I'd gamble that Pepe would play. As I said, I think Saka will miss out, and if he does, I think Pepe plays, and then he's a reasonable gamble for this week, personally. Vivek Gore, is it worth taking a hit for Omobamidele to Reece James? Well, that's a little bit of a different one, because so you're not getting points either way. You just know that it could be a -4. I think Reece James probably does start for Chelsea tomorrow. I think they probably need to play Hudson-Odoi in a higher position at the moment. So it should open the door up for Reece James, but could very easily be Azpilicueta at right wing back again. But I think you'd take a longer term view on that. So I'm going to say yes. Go for it, Vivek. FTLOL podcast. Hi, James. Non-FPL 1. Who do you think deserves the Ballon d'Or this year? It was funny. I was thinking about all the people that were saying Jorginho for Ballon d'Or, and while I was for the advanced tiers, I was getting some footage on Kai Havertz of when he played as a number 9 for Chelsea last year, and one of the games he played in the 9 when Werner wasn't in the team was when they lost at home to Arsenal, and Jorginho played that back pass, and mate, if Jorginho was to win Ballon d'Or, that clip's getting rolled out, mate. Here's your Ballon d'Or winner. Who deserves to win the Ballon d'Or this year? Messi. Messi was the best footballer in the planet in the first 7 months of this calendar year. So still Lionel Messi. Just for me. I think Lewandowski in the equation. Salah's obviously had a phenomenal couple of months. Still for me, Messi. It's dull, but that's where my vote would go if I had the vote. Hamish Holmes, how would you describe Brentford's style of play? Great addition to the Prem. Love catching their games on TV. I would describe it as unapologetic, in the sense they want to play good football, they want to build from the back, but they're not, again, it's something I did for the patrons after they beat Wolves, was highlighted that they are not apologetic in terms of, we'll stick it in the box, we'll go direct, we'll hook one over the top and get the front two to chase after it. So the principal idea of what they want to play is actually quite nice. The top end, they can obviously do some damage quite aerially to people, as shown particularly by the Liverpool game. Anyone who watched the last 20 minutes against Chelsea, you would have seen it again. They've got a good mix. They're a decent side. I guess intelligent at the moment would be another word to use. I think the manager knows what he's doing. He looks calm to me. And we kind of thought he was going to be this character that came in and upset everyone. And I think he has put a few noses out of joint. But I think he's calm and he's managing the situation and expectations in his team very well at the moment. Dion Chung says, get rid of Ronaldo to Vardy for a -4 or Ronaldo might score this game week. Listen, Dion, read that back to yourself, mate. Is there a possibility that Cristiano Ronaldo scores this weekend? Well, fuck me, of course there is, mate. It's Cristiano Ronaldo. He's the best goal scorer of the last 15 years. Still prefer Messi, but anyway. So, of course he could score this weekend. He could score against anyone. I watched him do next to nothing again the other night and scored a winning goal late on. He's probably the best header of a football in the world. So if a cross is right, he can score a goal. He could out-jump Van Dijk at back post and score a headed goal. So, can he score? Yeah. Would I take the -4 for it? Yeah, I would actually, yeah. Ian Walsh, even James transferring Jota out to have 11 starters. Thoughts on Mount? Don't have enough to get Havertz. Yeah, it's reasonable alternative, as already discussed, mate. Immortal Technique, hi James, should do Jota to Havertz or Lukaku to Vardy. Would be for a -4. Have Tony already and Emil Smith-Rowe would play. Thanks, good luck everyone. Do what I've done, mate. Do both. -8. I've done it. Static says start King or Livramento. Lean towards King. Yes, I'd go with that. I'd go with that as well. I think Josh King will play through the middle. Claudio Ranieri was very insistent during his press conference that Ismaila Sarr will go back on the right wing. King has been past fit, so I think he plays through the middle. So yeah, I would go Josh King. Andy Cairns, hi James, happy weekend. And to you and Static, I am well, mate, and I hope you are too. Ash says play 2, bench 2. Oh God, why is there so many brackets? Sarr, Armstrong, Jota, Livramento. You don't need to put in brackets who these people play for. I'm going to get the idea, my friend. I appreciate the effort though. Play 2, bench 2. Sarr and Armstrong are the 2 I'd pick, mate. Robaldinho 7, Foster, Diaz, Gallagher, Livramento. Is this worth a bench boost? No, mate, it's not, because I don't know what your 11 is. And in your 11, you might have Chelsea, Man City defenders and all the rest of the shite that could easily get rotated. You got any player in your first 11 that could get rotated, it's not a consideration. Garlic 25, Evening James, went Kane over Vardy like you suggested. Appreciate the help. Have a good weekend. Good luck. Careful. I suggested it was the best thing for me. I think Jamie Vardy outscores Kane over the next 3. but I think it'd be close. And I just don't. It was close enough for me to think I don't need to go to Vardy first when I know I'm going to Kane in 12 no matter what. So I just decided to go Kane first. Andrew Jarvis, hi James, hope all is good. Sky question. I've somehow found myself 103rd in October leaderboard with my second team, so want to try and win monthly manager. What fixtures should I attack this week? Well, you see the whole Chelsea team tomorrow, Andrew. So, you want to go all out for it? Honestly, punt stuff like Havertz, Hudson-Odoi, players who are not going to be other people's teams and stuff. Get them in. That would be the big recommendation, mate. Optimus Prime. My Game Week 9 team is locked. Wildcard, Havertz, my captain. Overall points, 5830. Overall rank, 497. Hope, big green arrow for all. Cheers, Optimus Prime. Dan said, we spend all our time looking for good fixture runs. We have a great one here. Why don't we all have 3 Chelsea players? I don't, and neither do you. Are we doing it wrong? No, mate. As simple as this. I did have 2. One got injured. And one that might have been the replacement. Like, I might have gone to Werner. He's injured as well. So, okay, look, I don't have double Chelsea defence. And also, other than Lukaku, until this whole thing opened up for Havertz, I'd have had no interest in Kai Havertz 3 days ago. Zero interest in Kai Havertz. The door's just opened for him suddenly, with both those strikers getting injured. So I don't have double Chelsea defence. That's it. Are we doing it wrong by not having 3? In an ideal situation, I would have had 3 defenders, 3 Chelsea players. But I don't. Couldn't justify it. At the time it came round, it was like, look, I already had Rudiger in place. I'd go Lukaku. I don't want a second attacking one. At the time, it was like Alonso, Chilwell, what's going on? Reece James. I was like, oh, fuck it, I can't bother with this. That was my attitude to it. And at the time as well, I didn't have enough tools to give me coverage on the bench. Like I was carrying Luke Ayling and stuff, right? It was injured. Now, with Livramento, if I didn't have issues, would I go and get a second Chelsea defender? Yeah, I would. So everything's circumstantial, Dan. JFPL says, best long-term pick out of Mitchell, Lowton, Rico Henry or Ben White. You asked me which one of them is going to get the most points across the season. And well, actually, it doesn't have to be the season, does it? Just a long-term pick. To be honest, I'm going to say Rico Henry. Because Brentford, for me, up till game week 16, the best of the lot. So I'm going to say Rico Henry. FPL JJ, Gallagher to Havertz for free? Question. What do we think, everyone? Toby Evianson. It's a great name, that. Hi, James. Is Lukaku to... and it continues a lot later. Hi, James. Lukaku and Saka to Havertz and Tony or Kane and Mbeumo. Careful, because I want to say Havertz and Tony, but what's the longer term plan for Kane and stuff, and what's the plan for Son if you go down that route? I can't answer that for you, Toby, only you can. 1M1 go, bench 2 of Greenwood, Livramento and Tierney. Good luck, James. I would bench 2 of them. To be honest, I would start Greenwood. I said that already for someone else. Ash, the answer is yes. I've covered that before. Dylan Farrell, hi James. Do you think it's worth another -4 Jota to Havertz? Yes, same question as above. If it would mean that I'm then benching Adam Armstrong, I'd intend on capping Havertz. Otherwise, it's Son or Salah. If you're intending to cap him as well, Dylan, you're answering your own question, my friend. I think you know what to do. I wouldn't bench Armstrong though. I'd find an alternative. Muhammad Ali says, Salam, Mr. Linden. Ronaldo to Tony for a hit worth it, just to free up funds to make more changes next week. Nah. You can free it up. You can make that transfer next week for free. You expect Tony to outscore Ronaldo by more than 4 this week. Could do. Ronaldo might outscore Tony by more than 4. Nah, wouldn't force it, mate. Nick says, hi James, is Mahrez to Havertz for a hit worth it? Thanks and good luck for the game week. Yep, off we go. DP, Mahrez, play, don't play. If he plays, he might go mental. He might get 1 point. He might not play at all. Same problem every week. I thought it was a 1 week pump for last week, and he did play. Even that didn't come off. DP says, Foden to Havertz captain worth it for -4. Guys, honestly, you got these Havertz -4 questions. Delete them, because I'm going to say yes to nearly every one. Someone's going to try and be clever and ask me a mad one like, oh, would you go De Bruyne to Havertz for a -4? No, obviously I won't. But realistic ones, yeah. Yeah, I would. Nicola Torco, hi James, hope you're well. What do you think of playing Foster over Sanchez this game week? Also, rather get Vardy or a Chelsea defender. I currently have none. -4 worth it. Good luck, everyone. Nah, play Sanchez. you know how Sanchez never gets save tiers or anything like that. Well, if Brighton pull off a miracle, and to be honest, it wouldn't be a miracle, but if Brighton won 1-0 tomorrow night, it probably won't be a 6-pointer for Sanchez. Fucking 10, 11-pointer or so, mate. I'd play Sanchez, mate. Just play Sanchez every week. Don't damage your brain on it. Brian Lloyd says, hi, James. Oh, you had a second question. Also, rather get Vardy or a Chelsea defender. I currently have none. -4 worth it. But I don't know what you're selling, mate, so I can't answer that. Brian Lloyd, hi, James. What would your bench order be? Currently, I have Livramento, Trent, Smith Rowe. Thank you. I would be on that Livramento. Trent, obviously, I would play. Get Trent in your team, mate. I would go Smith Rowe over Livramento. It'd be close. On my benching dilemma, I've got Livramento over Saka, but it's partly because I don't think Saka will start. I'd probably just go Smith Rowe over Livramento. Very close, though. Miena says Smith Rowe or Livramento. Just done that. JT, afternoon, James. Following large statement, would you hold or sell Jimenez? And if sell, who would you replace him for 7.5? Already have Tony. Genuinely, at the moment, with my planning, I would look at Callum Wilson. And they've got Chelsea next week and Brighton away the week after. So the timing's not right. I would be holding Raul Jimenez. And I would start him without hesitation. And that would be the end of it for me. Yo says McCarthy or Ramsdale. Well, on the basis I'm back in Southampton for a clean sheet, I've got to say McCarthy, haven't I? Lewis James, White on Morpay. Morpay, mate. Play the forward. Vivek Gore, worth keeping a Wolves defender like Semedo for their fixture run or sell? I'd keep, mate. I'll make them best for the next 6. I don't think the next 4 are brilliant. You got Norwich, Burnley, and then it bins instantly. Decide now who you're buying for him in game week 15. If you want a tip, game week 15, cheapies there. You might Palace maybe, cheapy little Palace player maybe from game week 15 or so. Nigel Sam, hi James, would you take a -4 for Mbuemo for Sarr or Ben Rama out? No, I wouldn't. No, I took it for a player that I don't think is going to play, right, in Harvey Barnes. Sarr and Ben Rama are starters. No for me, not for a -4. Eliezer says Aubameyang or Jesus. I think Aubameyang needs Jesus. Aubameyang or Jesus. Do you know what? If I had to buy one, it'd be Aubameyang. I was really telling this morning, and we were both half asleep. But on that podcast we didn't even mention Lukaku. By the way, if you do want to watch the Lukaku replacement podcast, I have put a link in the bio of this stream, so you can find it easy enough there. I'd go Aubameyang, to be honest. And one of the arguments I was putting forward for Aubameyang was that Watford at home in game week 11, Newcastle at home in 13. He really is a reasonable captaincy option in those 2 game weeks. We are 22 minutes or so to deadline, guys. Make sure you're getting yourselves locked in. James Clark says, evening, sir. Cancelo, Ben Rama, a Lukaku to Vardy, Havertz, James would give me. Oh, you give me your whole team. I feel like you're selling Cancelo in there, which is just and I'm not reading out your whole team. But thank you for your question, James. Sorry, it's just too much, mate, for my brain when I'm going at under mile an hour. Joe McNeil says, thoughts on Christensen as a cheaper Chelsea defender, so I could afford Mendy on a free hit. You're free hitting. Okay. Good luck. Ragaf says, hi James, benching Salah, a crazy idea. Wow. I mean, that one's got me good. You don't bench Mo Salah. Ever. If Liverpool were going to tell you that we're going to turn up with 8 players, I'd still play Mo Salah. Do not bench Mo Salah, my friend. Stian Bosdale, in honour of the Gov himself, Callum Hudson-Odoi is in alongside Havertz and Chilwell. Best of luck this game week, mate. Good luck to you too, pal. William Muller Anderson, what do you think about Vardy, captain? I think he's the 4th best option, mate. It's on the screen. Moa Dine, hi James, Adama or Jota? Get rid of Adama Traore, mate. Jota. I don't think I could bear Traore. I'm so pleased I didn't buy Traore or Trincao when it was all the rage. So pleased. It's arguably one of my rare good decisions of the season. Jordan Harrison, hi James. Do you think I should play Christensen on Mbuemo? I already have Tony, so not sure about the double up. The double up is immaterial. Are you honestly in a position to tell me you've got 3 defenders better than Christensen this week? I don't see how you can have 3 Chelsea defenders this week already and have Christensen. That's impossible. I think you know the answer, Jordan. William says, what do you think about Captain Vardy? We've already done that. Don't want to see it again, my friend. Sheila says, did Jota and Lukaku to Tony and Son -4? We'll have enough cash to do Antonio to Vardy in Gameweek 11. Thoughts on the Son captain instead of Salah? 10th best option. It's on the screen. Chris Jargo, Bon Apres, Biddy James, you've done me there, mate. Is it a possibility Alonso gets easy games and chill all the difficult ones as like last season? Chris, fuck knows, mate. I have no idea. I'd see no reason why Chilwell won't play again tomorrow. No idea, mate. Put it this way, if the team comes and Alonso's in it, I'm not going to be surprised. Not a clue. But from an FPL perspective, if you're still sitting there with Alonso, you cannot sell him this week. I don't think you stick him in the team and you pray he plays. And it's probably going to go on next week as well. I think next week's a little easier to sell because Newcastle do score goals. And I just get rid. I could bet that Alonso probably won't play at Newcastle. Tomorrow, I'm guessing Chilwell plays. He's definitely first choice. Would it shock me if Alonso played? No. Meninda says, Sky question please. Got Aubameyang, Lukaku and Ramsey. Anything you'd recommend for tomorrow? Thinking of Lukaku to Cancelo and Ramsey to Mbeumo, but keeping Aubameyang to save transfers on 33. I like both of them moves. What you got to do, Meninda, is, and I see this a lot, I've used this many transfers. Listen, you've got a situation that you need to fix. Ramsey needs fixing. Lukaku needs fixing. The entry to Cancelo because of the injury tomorrow is good. And the entry to Mbeumo on Sunday, as we highlighted on Wednesday's podcast, is one of two very good entry points to Brentford. They're fine. Don't worry about how many you've used. They're the correct transfers. Go and do them, mate. BC6, do you think Reece James will start this week? Unsure if to play him or Mbeumo. You play him, mate. Imagine, just think of it like this logically, right? The state of it, if you put Reece James on the bench and he's in the team at home to Norwich. The state of it. Reece James could be a 20-pointer tomorrow, mate. These aren't even questions as far as I'm concerned. Marcus Wyatt, great pod today on Lukaku replacements, James. Cheers, we were asleep. All the best for the weekend. I'm Captain KDB, by the way. Don't mind it. Second best pick for me this week. Don't mind it. And no one's talking about him. And to be honest, it's not in my thoughts to go and buy right now. But I think if I had him this week, do you know what? I always used to have a philosophy with KDB on a captaincy. When you're in doubt, if you got KDB, fuck it. Now, I realise we're kind of in that position now with Salah. I accept that. This week's opened up for Havertz. Honestly, if I had De Bruyne sitting there instead of Havertz, De Bruyne would be my captain and there wouldn't be a doubt about it. FPL telling Josh, afternoon, James, remove question as you answered earlier. Legend, good man. Thank you. Good luck for this game week. Wish you the best in the Planet FPL derby. I appreciate that, Josh. Good luck to you, mate. Have a good weekend. Zaris says, do you think Azpilicueta and Jimenez will play? Greetings from Greece, my friend. I have a sneaky that Azpilicueta might get left out, personally, but it's just an intuitive guess. Nothing more than that. Jimenez, I think, will play. FPL Alex the Kid bought in Jesus and Havertz for Lukaku and Gallagher. 2 free transfers. Your YouTube banner picture. Oh, yeah, very true. The 2 players on the thumbnail, yeah. Perlo's Pen. Hello, mate. Do you think I should start Armstrong or Livramento? Brother, you know me well enough to not answer that question. Armstrong, mate. Stick him in. Razwan says, Havertz in for Sarr for a hit or nah? Yeah. Assad says, start Jose Sarr or Ramsdale. This is close. I'll tell you why this is close. My instinct would be Ramsdale. But then look at my correct score predictions on the screen. And I think you'll find the answer there. Nikhil says, play Greenwood or Livramento. It's Greenwood for me. William says, what do you think about taking Grealish out for Havertz for -4? Yep, off you go. Jitish B, Sarr or Jota to Havertz for -4. Yep, second one. At least I'll try and be consistent with my answers, honestly. Luke Hopkinson is confirming that he's Leeds, mate. Good luck to you, pal. Ethan Williams, Ronaldo and Jota to Kane and Havertz for -4. Yep. Shane Mibbs, swap White or Shimikas for Aspi. Both are bench players. Yeah, but Shimikas plays like 1 in 10, mate. You know the answer. And it will free you up a Liverpool spot. Lewis MPCS 1304. What players should I play in my defence? Livramento, Cody, Rudiger, White and TAA. Well, first thing is, what system do you want to play? But in order, that would be, this week, Rudiger, TAA, and for me, Livramento. Nigel Sam, play 2 of Semedo, Sarr, Ben Rama. Good luck, James, and everyone else. be contradictory, but I wouldn't leave those attacking players out, so it would be bench Semedo. Oneondon Havertz captain for Jota -12. Big worries, Norwich have gone back 5 and kept 2 clean sheets in the last 2 games. Yeah, and that's got me shitting myself as well, that kept clean sheets against Burnley and Brighton. Look, if you're going Jota to Havertz and you're doing a -12 to facilitate that, no. If you've already taken the -8 and it is now just a 4-point decision, you still do it. I think at -12, if you haven't used the wild card, you should have a reconsideration that you're happy with that. Personally, I think I would have gone -12 and not played the wild card this week. Would have been my opinion. So yeah, do it. As long as that's the decision, you look at it and going, I would look at it next 3 fixtures. Chelsea got Norwich at home, Newcastle away, Burnley at home. I'm going to captain Havertz once, possibly twice, while Jota's got Man United away, Brighton at home, West Ham away, and might not start. Now, if I'm judging it like that, of course it's worth the -4, and that's why I didn't hesitate to make the transfer. It's almost no-brainer when you lay it out like that. He might fucking make it up in appearance points, mate. Multi-Laville, Lukaku and Grealish to Havertz and Vardy, or Tony and KDB. Preference is going to be on Havertz. Tom, is Ronaldo good differential captain, James? He's playing Liverpool, mate. No. Eulogiu starts Saka or Livramento. Cheers, James. They're right next to each other on the bench in dilemma screen. I think Saka will get left out, so I've got a slight preference for Livramento, but it is close. Basically, go and get yourself a 20p coin and toss it up in the air, mate, and see what happens. John Simpson says, I think you're underestimating yours and England's star striker. He's surely more likely to score than Antonio, even away from home. Hoping Sonny and Harry bang this week, even as an Arsenal fan. Yes, I'm underestimating the forward that I've just taken a -4 for. No. It's simply like this. West Ham defensively are improving week on week. I think Kurt Zuma's made a massive difference to them. And in the years gone by, Zuma has performed very well against Harry Kane over the respective teams that he's played for. I know that Mikel Antonio is going to give Romero and Dyer a fucking migraine on Sunday. And that's why Antonio has the vice captaincy rather than Harry Kane. And I've also been sitting here for weeks saying, I think Antonio's going to batter Tottenham. If I hadn't taken the -4 for Havertz, I would have captained Antonio. I think he could murder us at the weekend. I've been saying it for a while, so I'm following it up. Ray Karashi says, hi James, do you think Salah will be the most captain player this game week? Also keep up the fantastic work, pal. Do I think it'll be the most? I don't think it'll be close, mate. I think Salah's effective will be about 130, 140%. I think it'd be huge, honestly. I think it would be massive. Massive. Because I just think we live in a Twitter bubble where there's a lot of people who are talking about Havertz and stuff, right? Get that, and other options, maybe the odd KDB and Kane and Vardy and stuff like that. The majority of people just literally look at the points and go, well, fuck me. Mo Salah's got about 25 more than everyone else. Well, I was thinking about Lukaku this week, but he's injured. Salah, press a button. There's nothing to think about. I think Salah will be massively owned this week. Huge. If you don't captain him, it's going to be bad if he returns. But I'm still not captaining him. It's boring. Bivek says, just did Greenwood and Ronaldo for Kane and Havertz. Was in a dilemma over Jota or Greenwood to drop. Eulogiu, does Ronaldo feel like differential in the community now? No one is buying him now, and we know he usually delivers in the biggest games. Except that's not really true, is it? We know he can return in the big games. We know that. He could score on Sunday. Of course he could. But not enough for us to think he's a captaincy option. Cristiano Ronaldo is a live player and he's not in the top 10 captaincy picks for this week. In a week where actually the outstanding option has disappeared in Romelu Lukaku. And he's not even there. I've got Ben Chilwell above Ronaldo for captaincy this game week. The point is, from an FPL perspective, Ronaldo has shown in Serie A, in all through his career, that he's a bit of a flat track bully and he'll score big against shit teams. And that's why, come game week 15-16, we're all going to be talking about him again. Until then, at his price, it's not worth it. T Banky, afternoon, James. Lukaku to Aubameyang or moved for Son next week. Move it on, mate. Move Lukaku on. Move him on. So if Aubameyang's your option, do it. Haver Johal. Hi, James. Is it worth having 2 Chelsea defenders on a wild card? If so, which 2? I would go Rudiger and Azpilicueta because I'm a boring fucker. I think most people would probably go Reece James and Ben Chilwell. There's upside in that. There's also a lot of downside as well. I'd probably go Rudiger and Azpilicueta if I was going that way. Adam Sidat says Tony or Vardy. I mean, there's no price comparison in this. I'm just going to say Vardy. Fizas, who to get for Jota? Wow. You've put 3 options there, and one of them's called Kai Havertz. Sam Taylor says Livramento or Tierney first bench. I would have played Tierney over Livramento personally, despite the fact I'd fancy Saints for a clean sheet, because that Tierney at the bar Monday night, there's the potential of the big haul from him always. Eshna says great to Havertz for -4. I don't need to read option B. Or Grealish to Son for -4. Nah, it's option A, mate. It's boring repeating myself, isn't it? I got 10 minutes to deadline, guys. Will Jones, hi James, hope you're good. I know you're not manager, but do you reckon Aspi and Rudiger start against Norwich? As I said, I've got a feeling that Aspi might get left out. Personally, it's a guess. It's a guess. I feel like he might be due the rest, personally. Just going to have a check just to see if there's any possible information on Bukayo Saka for you. I'm not aware of any. If any of my patrons are in, if there's anything knocking about, please share it with me. But I'm not aware of any Bukayo Saka that I can give you information on. Emily Redpath, hi James, taking a -4 on Buemo and Kane. Would you make it -8 to get Havertz for Foden? Yep. Ragaf, thoughts on Captain Tony? Ragaf, this might be why you got muted before, mate. I might have not been up for silly questions, mate. We really sit and go, Ivan Tony's the best captaincy this week. Come on. Eshen says Kane or Vardy for Ronaldo. Well, I'm going to say Kane, but that's because I've got a structured idea. If you're just looking very, very short term, I have a slight preference for Vardy. Jonathan Ajao, start Cancelo or Livramento? I'm sorry, Jonathan. I can't bother to answer that question, mate. Ben Rama or Gray? Refers to benching dilemma screen. They're next to each other. I've gone Ben Rama just for jokes. Paul Willis says, hi James, enjoy the content. I wonder if you ever think if you put all this research into the stock exchange you'd be rich. Yeah, possibly, mate. Possibly. Could be. Such always says, right? He says about Sky Fantasy is 50 grand to win. He says there's easier ways to make 50 grand. I keep saying to him, can you fucking tell me what the easier ways are then, mate? So I can go and do it. Andrew Jarvis, can't see this in the benching dilemma. Start Livramento or Semedo. I would go Livramento. It's closer though. I mean, I've got Livramento over Cody, but Semedo you should place a little bit higher. Close that. I'd go Livramento. William Smith, yes, Havertz for -4. Dylan says Rafinha and Vardy or Son and Jimenez. Rafinha and Vardy for me. Ian O'Neill, can't afford Havertz. Do you think Mount is worth? Whatever his price is what he's worth, mate. Yeah, it's fine. Khalid said KDB or James captain. Reece James, yeah. See, this is someone earlier was talking about benching Reece James. Too scared if he's going to play or not. It's on the screen, Khalid, my opinion. Saya Fix says, hi James, your thoughts on Captain Chilwell over Mo Salah this week? I have both of them in my team. Yeah, my thoughts are also on the screen, mate. If you want to check out the graphics, it's generally what they're for. Sunshine says, hello James, should I start Foster or Sanchez? Alex Allegretto, good luck James. Captain Azpilicueta here, nice. Good luck to you, Alex. I hope I haven't put you off. Stick to your plan. It's just an opinion I've got. If you believe it, you do it, mate. Stick to your guns. John Lawler, thanks for the content, James. You should do super chats. You deserve a few beers for us. Well, John, if you're not on Planet FPL Patreon, you can join us, www.patreon.com/Planet FPL. It's almost like I've been practicing this, right? And look, you can join us at basic tier. Come and join the Planet FPL Slack channel where we get team leaks and all sorts. Genuinely. £3 a month. £3's not even going to get me a beer. Come on, John. Come and join over. And if you want more of the content, £8 a month. I'll give you an extra 20 podcasts a month. It is what it is. And if you want to do what many people did, jump up to advanced tier, you get all the fucking reason why we're all captain Kai Havertz this week with video analysis. Wing L says, Ben Rama to Havertz and Lukaku to Vardy for a hit. Okay. Yeah, definitely, mate. James Galogly, I'm concerned to go for Jimenez after the coach's comments on managing him. Best alternative if I already have Antonio and Tony. Thinking about Callum Wilson. Yeah, I don't hate it. I think what you do is you go Callum Wilson, you got to make a decision to go, I need to stick this out. And that's what you need to do. Callum Wilson goes in, he ain't going in for 3 game weeks, mate. He needs to go in for 7. And if you're okay with that, I don't mind Callum Wilson as a shout, honestly. He's in the back of my mind. He really is. Javier Joao says Vardy or Kane on a wild card. Sunak saved money to switch to Kane after 3 weeks. Then Vardy. Isat Fian says, hi James, thoughts on Jota to Havertz for -4. Yeah. I mean, what do we think? Have I covered this by now? I should rename this, shouldn't I? I should give someone a password so they can update the title of the stream. The Gameweek 9, yes, take a fucking -4 for Havertz stream. FPL Rover, I have both Saka and Buemo and can only start one of them. Should I risk Saka or nail my hopes on the woodwork loving B? Yeah, I would go for the woodwork loving B either way, mate. Callum Stewart, hi James, enjoyed the pod this morning with Suj. Which one would you start at? Livramento, Semedo, Smith Rowe, Chris Wood? You know the answer, don't you, Callum? Chris Wood. Khalid says, mate, it was a stupid question the first time. I don't need to read it twice, mate. Haswell says, hi James, Jota or Livramento first on bench. I'd pick Livramento over Jota. It's based on I cannot see Jota starting for Liverpool. That's my reasoning for the decision. If you think Jota would start, then I would go the other way with that. But no, that's why Livramento's in my team and Jota's on the bench. Oh, look at this spammer. Let's get rid of this guy. See you, mate. Thanks. God, he's got a lot of messages in there, hasn't he? He's throwing me right off track. We are about 5 minutes to deadline, guys. Make sure you're getting yourselves locked in. Colombo, SWFC, Jota Havertz worth it. Play Pookie or Havertz in for a hit. What is this? Good luck, mate. Adi Attabal, start Smith Rowe or Adam Armstrong. Start the forward. Svinez, thoughts on Jimenez? I've done it. Thanks for your questions. Suya Sanka Sen says, hi James, why not re-upload these on Spotify? Because who wants to listen to a shitty deadline stream after the deadline's gone? And I realise that actually plenty of people would, but you know what? Once the deadline's hit, I kind of like to relax with my family a little bit. This kind of really works as a video package with how quickly I speak rather than audio. Ash K Mayapan, bench one from your whole team. You put Saka twice. I can't bother with your question, mate. Javier Johel, third forward with Vardy and Tony, max 7.5. With Vardy and Tony, max 7.5. That's Antonio out, isn't it? I wouldn't go to the Southampton boys. Haven't got the information. Can I tell you one really short term to consider? A name that hasn't been mentioned during this stream. Genuinely. 2-week punt. Rodrigo of Leeds. Wolves at home, Norwich away. Bamford's not going to be back for next week, I don't think, by the sounds of Bielsa's comments. So really short term, Rodrigo. Fuck it, why not? Irish Maverick, best Lukaku replacement. No idea, mate, but if you read the bio, you'll see that I did a whole 36 minutes on it on a podcast this morning, my friend. Thanks for your question. Polkit says Lukaku to Kane, Antonio to Tony for a -4. Okay, yeah. You got to get rid of Lukaku. So, does Antonio to Tony need to fund it? If so, fine, do it. Otherwise, I'll just do Lukaku to Kane and then wait on Antonio to Tony. Aussie FN, Chilwell and Jimenez in, Ronaldo and Shaw out -4. Most people would probably advise against buying Jimenez now. I don't think I'd take a hit for him at this moment. If I was going to do that, I'd rather go Tony. Sean Buckley, hi James. Benrahma to Hudson-Odoi from -4. Yeah, different one. Nice. No. As much as I think Hudson-Odoi would be a really good option on wildcard, I would not take a -4 for a player who notoriously makes Theo Walcott's FPL returns over the last 5 years look fucking phenomenal. So, no, I wouldn't take a -4 for him, but I really like that there was some variation on the question. Thank you. Khalid, 2 times a joke, 3 times are thanks, mate. Apologies. If you don't like it, you've been permanently muted. Feel free to DM me on Twitter, Planet FPL Pod, and we can have a discussion about it, mate. David Passamar, James, but I might reject your request. David Passamar says, James, love the content. I'm a gardener and listen to all your stuff while working. Quick question, bench one of Gallagher, Gray, St. Max, thanks. Oh, that's a tough one. Like it. It's a tough one. I would. Oh shit! I'll tell you why I'm indecisive. Because if Newcastle play like they played against Tottenham in terms of system, then it's definitely bench St. Maximin. But I think they might go to a diamond tomorrow, and St. Maximin goes up front. And in which case, I would not want to bench him. And actually think if Newcastle play a diamond tomorrow, they might actually damage Palace. And Graham Jones is an intelligent fucking coach, and he might do it, which makes that really, really tough. On the basis that they might stay the same, and Graham Jones was possibly picking the team and the system anyway, I'm going to say very reluctantly bench St. Maximin on the basis that if he plays as a winger, he's never going to return big. Steve Jones says, do you think people buying Vardy should be worried that Leicester went back to 3-5-2 last week, which is a formation they played last season towards the end when his FPL points took a serious nosedive? Steve, people at 1 minute to deadline, guys, get yourselves locked in. I will answer your question. I'm just checking in case there's any Saka news. I'm not aware of anything. No. Yes, I think people should be wary of that. I don't think Iheanacho is good for Vardy returns. However, I think, look, next 3 games, Brentford away, Arsenal at home, Leeds away, it's all fine. Then after Chelsea, Watford, the fixtures are all right. It's kind of the point. But yes, I think Vardy works better for himself as a lone front man. It's also worth saying, though, Steve, that we've been saying for years, probably 3 years now, he's getting on. So maybe having a partner who will occasionally do that running for him might also not be a bad thing. So he's got to evolve at some point. He's still fucking fast. He cannot stay fast forever. Or perhaps he can't make the intensity of runs as often as he used to. And therefore, although in the past it's been that being on his own, I think has always been better for him, that maybe having a partner now might do the trick as well. So I think we need to, with Vardy and his age, we need to constantly be reassessing that. So far, look, he got the goal against Manchester United, but it was, I would say, an untypical Jamie Vardy goal from that perspective. So generally, I think it's a great point, Steve. I would just say it might change, and it's something that we should be watching very, very closely. That thinking didn't influence my decision to go Kane over Vardy. It was quite simply, I didn't have enough confidence that Vardy would outscore Kane by 5 or more over the next 3 game weeks. And that's why I went to Kane instead. As far as I'm concerned, guys, the deadline has hit. And if you haven't taken -4 for Kai Havertz, you can't now. You're locked. Deadline is done. If anybody has any non-FPL questions, I am happy to cover them over the next 15 minutes or so. Pop them in the chat and I will get to them. Apologies to those whose questions I didn't get to. I mean, if we didn't have so many repeat questions, it'd be helpful. But yeah, do you know what? It is what it is. I'll do my best. Fuck me, there's loads of you I didn't get to this week. Before I get down to the questions, I'm just having a little rundown. I'm basically just muting people who I can see have got repeat questions in there quite a lot. It's only about 2 or 3 of them. Everybody's generally very well behaved. If you want to go and spam chats, guys, go and spam somewhere else. I like this one I've just seen. Dallas or Dean? My answer would have been wildcard, I think, mate. Cool. Thanks, guys. Right. Yes, Dylan Ferner Rose has reminded me, which I did say I would do. Combined Villa and Arsenal 11. Good question. I like that because it's not the sort of thing you usually think of. I think Emi Martinez in goal. Sorry, I'm just going to cover this first because I've seen it from Frodo. Good evening, James. Have you seen the highlights from Bodo Glimt versus Roma game? If not, it was brilliant. No, I wasn't that pissed off with Spurs that I felt like I needed to laugh at Mourinho last night. Let's say the honeymoon's finished and I'm not surprised. Emi Martinez in goal. Left back, definitely Kieran Tierney. I'll work on the basis we go with a back 4 here. Kieran Tierney, left back. Centre backs. This is going to be controversial. I would pick the Arsenal pair. I would go Gabriel and White. Right back, I would go Matty Cash. At the moment. I think Tomiyasu looks good, by the way. I would just go Matty Cash. Holding midfield. Let's go with 2 in there. Genuinely, when he's at his best, Pete would laugh. I always think Arsenal are weaker without Xhaka. And at the moment, I'd put him in there. And I would want him in there as a ball-playing midfield player. And let someone else do the donkey for him. And I would suggest that makes John McGinn quite a good partner for him. Do like Douglas Luiz. I quite like Thomas Partey. I think that's all close. Like, none of them are world class or anything. I'd go Xhaka and McGinn, I think. Right, the rest of the team is more difficult to think of, I think. I would go Smith Rowe and Saka have got to go in there somewhere. To be honest, I would still go Aubameyang up front. Still, I would go Saka right, Smith Rowe central, and let's have a punt in there. Let's go Leon Bailey on the left is going to be a big deal, and let's stick him in the team. Let's go with that at the moment. I think failing that, honestly, it would probably be the Arsenal three. I thought Odegaard he's had a strange couple of games. I didn't think he was good Monday night, and he had a strange game at Brighton as well, actually. But there's a good player in there. All right, hopefully that kind of covers it. I've realised I've probably just lost every Villa subscription. Well, I'll tell you what, I can see JJ Okocha's put a team in there. It's not that far away from mine, so I've always got to be nice to the Gooners and I'll piss them off as much. Static's got non-FPL question. Who is the better overall wrestler, Shawn Michaels or Bret Hart, in your opinion? I loved HBK, mate. I loved HBK. I liked he had an edge about him, didn't he, as well. Yeah, loved HBK and Undertaker were probably my two favourite wrestlers when I was a kid, which was kind of just before the Attitude Era. So I would have a preference for HBK, personally. Bret Hart was a great wrestler. He didn't have all the kind of the charisma stuff that came with it. I feel like I've skipped loads here. Or did I just happen to go so far back and find a non-FPL question by mistake? I did. Who's the guy? There it is. Frodo, we did. Yologul. Have you been keeping up with Steve Cooper at Forest? The game at Bristol the other day was absolute bonkers. Yeah, Lyle Taylor scored twice in injury time, didn't he? I've not seen any of it, but I was aware, and the results have slowly been getting better. I've got half an eye on them, yeah. TJ Powell says, how do we submit a quiz idea for Patreon? You just tell me about it, my friend. Very simple. DM me, Slack or Patreon. Tell me what the theme idea is, and the chances are, TJ, I will almost definitely say yes, unless it's something where I think the only ones that don't work is when you're trying to challenge me. Like, if you want to do a quiz for me to do in my own time, like, fine, but it might take me a few weeks. You got to remember, you're not doing a quiz for me, you're doing it for the other patrons as well. But yeah, just DM me, mate. Slack or Twitter or Patreon, and chances are I'll give you a thumbs up, and then I'll give you an email address you can send to, mate. Ben Baker says, hey, James, what would you do with Lukaku in Sky? 0.3 in the bank. I don't know whether to go Cancelo, Son, or a third Chelsea defender. So I'll just talk about this briefly, because I did mention it. So I'm going to go Azpilicueta. The reason I'm going to go Azpilicueta is, basically, I need my next move to be Antonio to Kane in a few weeks. And I've also got Martinez to Raya planned after Villa play Southampton. That, basically, if I go Antonio to Kane and Martinez to Raya, the money once I sell Lukaku now, planning 2 moves ahead, is 9.3. Cancelo's 9.5 and Havertz is 9.5. So I'm fucked for both of them. So Azpilicueta's first choice for me. Remember, I've already got Laporte. So that's off the table. So what I need to work out tonight is what I'm going to do tomorrow if I see the team and Azpilicueta's not in it. Because what you don't want to do is go, yeah, that's my plan, and then panic when he's not in the team. I need to plan out a proper plan tonight. And it might be that plan's Christensen. It might be that plan's, I'm not sure if Reece James is affordable. I don't really want to go there in Sky. I feel like it's a short-term option in Sky. Very different to FPL. Christensen, I don't mind. He's getting more and more minutes all the time. And it's $1 million saving as well. And that might be what I decide. But I'm going to have a good look around. And it might be that it's even a case that I look at it tomorrow and go, right, Lukaku's obviously not playing. Azpilicueta's not playing. I'm going to make 2 moves here. I might look at that sort of thing. I might look at just going, do you know what? To open this game back up, I need to go Diaz to Cancelo now, for example. And look at, then I'll have a different amount of money for a Lukaku replacement. It might be then that if I've gone Diaz to Cancelo, might open up Lukaku to Havertz. I need to decide in my mind what I'm doing as plan B tomorrow. But my plan A is I'm going Azpilicueta. And then once I've gone Martinez to Raya, opens up Antonio to Kane on the Sunday when Tottenham play Leeds. That's where I'm at as a plan. Kumar says, what is your educational qualification? Mate, A's in everything. A for fucking absent. Nah, Mickey Mouse. I was very intelligent when I was like 10, 11, and then girls and football took over my life too much. I mean, football was already taking over my life. I turned into a teenager and girls took over my life too much. And then I was finding alcohol long before I finished my GCSEs. So I was C's and D's like in everything. I did A levels. I couldn't even tell you what I got. And then I went to uni and I got a degree in sport and fitness studies. And I'm not going to lie, I can't fucking remember any of it. Technically, I have one. I've never done anything with it. Done fuck all for me. It was a waste of my time. It was a waste of money. To be honest with you. Complete waste. Columbus says, hi James, do you hope you're keeping well. How much would you expect to get for Ali in the window? Fucking hell. So if Newcastle, let's say Newcastle were going to buy him. Bloody hell. I don't know how long he's got left in his contract. I don't think it's a huge amount of time. If it wasn't Newcastle, I'd be happy to take 10, 15 mil. Newcastle, you want more. Just naturally. Newcastle is 20, 25. And I think, unfortunately, that's a reasonable amount of money to take it off the wages because it's done. I think Dele Alli could go to Newcastle and be brilliant there for 4 months, by the way. I'm just not even saying Dele Alli would be a bad signing for Newcastle. They're in a shit, right? Dele Alli, if he plays as a 10 for Newcastle, will get them 5-6 goals in the second half of the season, probably help keep them up. But Tottenham, I think it's finished. Sad. I'm not happy about it. I've spoken about it a lot on our Tottenham podcast on Patreon in the last few weeks. I enjoy talking about it. I don't want to kick him way down. I don't think it's a case of he's not trying. I just think the injuries have done him really badly. So not a lot. Like, honestly, if you told me tomorrow, right, Everton have bid 15 million for Dele Alli and Tottenham have accepted it, I wouldn't flinch. In fact, I wouldn't flinch if PSG were taking him on loan, because I know there was talk. I don't know why they would, but let's just say they went, right, well, yeah, we're taking him on loan and we'll just pay his wages till his contract's up. Fine. Unfortunately. Sam Holden, what's your favourite Smarty colour? Wow. I'm going to say blue, because wasn't blue added later on, and it was kind of like a big thing for a while, and then it was like this mystery, is the blue one different or something? So I'm going to say blue. Paul Woodhead, thoughts on Havertz in the Sky game? Difficult one, and the honest answer is, Paul, I'd like to go back and look at his data from last season, which I haven't been able to do yet, but highly recommend having a look at ffstuff.co.uk, and you'll be able to find data on Havertz from last season. That's something I intend to have a look at myself tonight. Interesting. Very interesting. Because there isn't anyone in at that value at the moment. The problem is if you get there and it's bad, and it's very short-term thinking, and I always think there's a danger in that, Sky. I also, as I said to Suj this morning, we spoke about it briefly on the Patreon pod, it's like, do you know what, if you can't get Havertz and he goes off, like, it's not going to kill you. It's not going to kill you. I'm going to captain Antonio, I think, on Sunday, and if Salah returns, that's going to kill me more than if Havertz gets a hat-trick tomorrow, for example. So, yeah, it's probably going to be a no, I think, the way it works for me, but I'm going to have a proper look tonight, Paul. Jay Barker says, Gallagher and Buemo in Sky or anyone else in that bracket I've missed will come in for White after tonight to facilitate Lukaku to Kane. Both reasonable options. If you're selling, so you can't selling for White, that's fine. Yeah, I think they're probably the two best options in and around there. I would, if there was 0.2 difference between Gallagher and Buemo, I would make that move so it opened up the other moves for me, right? And then I could buy a 9.5 defender tomorrow, but it's only 0.1 between them, which is so bugging. Otherwise, I would make the move on Sunday. I think I would buy Buemo, personally, of the two, if I was going in new now. But Gallagher, he really is ticking over great. Second highest scoring midfielder in that game. Barry Coleman, if you could pick one player from the Championship for Spurs, who would it be? First point is I don't watch enough Championship football. What do I really need? Really, I need some cover in central midfield. I need an extra player, just a body, just a body. How's Alex Mowat doing at West Brom? I can't say I've seen any of him. He's more of a goal scoring midfielder, isn't he? See, I'd be blagging this. I don't like blagging shit because I ain't watched enough Championship football this year. I tell you what I'd take Dominic Solanke. I'd take Dominic Solanke as a backup to Kane. And Solanke can play in the Europa League. There you go. There's the answer. Sander Hart. Konsa has to be there. No? It's Konsa or White, isn't it? What would Gareth Southgate say? Mr. Anderson says, hi James, if you were Pep, would you start Stones or Laporte as City's best 11? If I was Pep, I think I'd play three at the back. Yeah, I think I'd play both of them and Diaz. I'd play Cancelo and Walker as wing backs. Or I think you could even get away with it where actually someone like, because they're so dominant, you could even play a Morris or a Foden as right wing back in certain games when they're so dominant. I'd really consider it, and I wonder if it's something as the season evolves we might see. To answer your question, the best two on their day when they're at their best is Laporte and Diaz. But I would honestly, if I was Man City manager, I would strongly consider a back three. The problem is, if one got injured, I'd want to change the system immediately because I wouldn't want Nathan Ake to go into it. Lemichi said, which one are Reguilon and Emerson Royal is more attacking in Nuno's current system? Reguilon naturally, but balance looks like it might be coming, and it might not be a lot in it. If you're asking from a fantasy perspective, drop that idea immediately. But there is a little bit of bias to the left, which I think is also natural because it's Sun's side as well. Anyway, Easton says, who do you think has more potential, Mbappe or Haaland? When we say potential, what are we judging it as here? Because Mbappe's already won like the World Cup. He's played in the Champions League final, whereas Haaland is nowhere near any of these things yet. So what are we judging potential? What's the potential for Mbappe? Go and win another World Cup with a Champions League? What's the potential? Are we talking about individual? I'm guessing you're asking on individuality of the player in terms of who's going to be the better player. I think Haaland is like a fucking robot and is frightening. Mbappe might be one of them because of his pace and power that actually gets to mid-20s and might actually have a decline. Like his best years might be at sort of 25 or so. It's not to say that he can't and won't be best player in the world at 30. He might be. It's just hopefully, touch wood, he obviously won't suffer bad injuries and stuff. Haaland, I think, he's definitely got Ballon d'Ors and stuff in him. He's going to go and score a ridiculous amount of goals. Rob Tilson says, hi James, what's happened to Harry Winks? Was he always bad but cared more, or something seriously gone wrong mentally, physically? Harry Winks is a more difficult one to... Delhi is fairly obvious, actually, because of the injuries and stuff. And then obviously didn't help he was not playing in the Premier League for so long. But looking back on it, I can understand the reasoning. In Harry Winks' case, and I think this has gone for a few other players at Tottenham, I think the last manager was extremely bad for him. Because if you think of all the positive characteristics, and people do have short memories, right? It's only 28 months ago that Harry Winks played injured and was Tottenham's best player in the Champions League final. Fact. And I know we weren't great that day, but he was our best player. He managed to get an hour out of him. I know it was important to the team, right? Get him on the pitch. I think he's found it destroying in terms of people have begun to understand how to isolate the defensive side of his game. So quite often when he was obviously looking good for Tottenham, he had I would call a real enforcer next to him. So whether that was Dyer, Wanyama or Moussa Dembele, who could do the kind of physical aspects to the game. Winks is not... he's slight, right? good technician, like someone who's going to become a regular in the England team. I think he's had some good habits coached out of him, which I feel like is the worst thing that a coach can do, but I feel that. I feel like his bravery on the ball is gone, be it carrying with the ball, be it just being a little bit more adventurous with his passing, it's gone. Fitness seems to have dropped, which speaks so much for a lot of the Tottenham team. You remember these players were hyper fit under Pochettino, went from the fittest team in the league to the most unfit team in the league, and Nuno's trying to repair that now, and Nuno's statistics at Wolves don't suggest that he will repair it properly. So I think there's a lot of factors, but he's another one, like that. Newcastle went edge 15-20 mil in the summer, He was a good player. There was rumours, not this summer, but the summer before, there was rumours that Guardiola wanted to take him to City and stuff. United have been linked in the past. There's still a player in there, but I've got to be honest, if I didn't know that from previously, I would think, no, there isn't. He's another one, right? He's come through the academy. I'm a bit loath to criticise him like I criticise some of the others, but I mean, Oliver Skip's well ahead of him now. Emmanuel Leander, evening James. Have you ever been to a Swedish football game? No, I've never been to Scandinavia, unfortunately, Emmanuel. But I'm sure that'll happen at some stage. Planet FPL live in Sverige. Mr. A, hey James, how comes you became a Spurs supporter? Excuse me. Was there a specific match or moment, and did you support another club prior to Spurs? No, listen, I've done this question 100 times. I was never given a choice. That was dropped down through families to me. I think my dad would have thrown me off the 7th floor if I didn't just go with it. So, yeah, wasn't given a choice, mate, for my sins. And as much as I hate it sometimes, it was the best thing my dad ever did for me. Luke Hopkinson, I don't suppose he was there changing many nappies and stuff. Luke Hopkinson said, James, why did Edwards and Madueke leave Spurs? Huge potential. No. Madueke, I'll be honest, was never mentioned amongst the youth teams at Tottenham. Was never anything expected of him. Edwards, I swear I spoke about it on the stream last week. Still does my brain in. He's the most talented kid I've ever seen in my life. Joke. It's his own fault. It's his own fault. Off-field stuff. Jack Smiley, James, you getting Havertz in Sky? I've covered this. I don't think it's going to work for me, but I'm going to look tonight. Rob H said, which English Football League ground that you haven't yet visited would you really like to go to? That's a very easy one for me to answer, Rob, and that's Hillsborough. For whatever reason, when Sheffield Wednesday were in the Premier League, in the 90s, it didn't work out. I mean, admittedly, I was kind of 16 and under then, so Hillsborough, for whatever reason, never happened. And we haven't played there since. So it's never been on the table. But I think if we play at Sheffield Wednesday, that's, there's a lot of reasons to want to go there. There's obviously the historical as well, with what happened there in the late 80s. And I'm pretty sure it's the biggest stadium in Britain that I haven't been to, I think. A football stadium anyway. I'm not including like Murrayfield and stuff like that. So I think Hillsborough, that's straight. I haven't been to Sheffield United either. I don't know why it hasn't happened. Just for whatever reason it hasn't. And I would like to go to Sheffield. Jamie Floyd says, first time chat, I love the concept, mate. What's the most dangerous animal you think you could beat in a fight? Yes. Jamie, you can come again, mate. What's the most dangerous animal you think you could beat? A snail. Fuck. One of them little Chihuahua dogs or something. I think a pug would be too much for me, mate. Fury Inferno, 10 to 15 only. I don't know what that's in reference to, mate. John Simpson, like me, got a degree in sport and fitness. They've never done anything with it. Not that many worthwhile, achievable jobs using it. No, exactly that, mate. I'm going to batter through these and finish them in 5 minutes. Kerslan's asking Havertz captain. Yeah, cheers, mate. Brilliant. FPL Freeze, Captain Kane, magnificent, mate. Paul Woodhead, cheers, James. We'll have a look myself. Got the funds to Decore to Havertz, as in reference to Sky. So it has to be considered if the numbers line up. Also, similarly, useless sports-related degree and education history. We must have been of that era. Donald, what team you support, mate? If you've been here for the last 2 or 3 minutes, I think you'll know the answer to that by now. Or you could just look through the chat. Or you could just probably watch any bit of the over 1,000 pieces of content I've now produced. James98, hi James. Which out of Foden, Greenwood, or Chiesa do you think will have the best future? Foden for me, but I think they all will. Chiesa's got something very unique about him in terms of the power of his running ability. I think they'll all have great futures. I think Phil Foden, though, is certainly in terms of English football, is generational talent, the like that we haven't seen before. FPL lad, favourite football stadium, James. Personally think Spurs Stadium was there on opening night and the away end. Been to a better stadium. I mean, the old White Hart Lane are preferred. I have to say that in all seriousness, you have to put the new White Hart Lane right up there at the top of stadiums that I've been to. I've walked all around the place. Kind of nearly every view in the ground I've seen, by the corporate seats. And it's amazing what they've done with it. They did as well as they possibly could have done with a modern football stadium. And therefore I think it's probably, I kind of grew up with these kind of Bernabeu, San Siro, Nou Camp. Those were the three dream stadiums for me, and I had the privilege of going to watch Tottenham in those stadiums. And then we moved into our own one, and actually when you reflect on it and go, yeah, fuck me, ours is just as good. It's just as good. And in terms of facility-wise, it's miles the best. My favourite was the Bernabeu. And I love Dortmund. I'd recommend to anybody to go to Dortmund, like when it's safe enough and whatnots. Which hopefully, I mean, I wouldn't do it now. Wait till spring, whatever. Go to Dortmund. Go and see the Yellow Wall. Brilliant when that place is bouncing. That's an amazing place, Borussia Dortmund. Go there. Phil McMahon says, "Hey James, just joined the stream. Sorry, have you got any thoughts on the sale of Bury FC in the ground? Cheers, mate." What the fuck, Phil? You're dropping news bomb on me. If this news has been broken today, you don't know how busy I am on Fridays. So, I literally, anything beyond team news is well over my head. I haven't got time. So, I'll look into that, Phil. I can't answer it because you telling me that's the first I'm aware of it. Unless you're just asking my opinion on the sale of Bury and the ground. Well, the ground means they're fucked. If they sold the ground, that would be my initial instinct. If Bury FC has been sold, that's not necessarily a bad thing. But if the ground's been sold, then there's no future for the football club. Rob Westaway, do you ever watch the women's football, and do you think someone like Emma Hayes could do well managing the men's Premier League? I think we're nearing that day. I certainly, in all honesty, I wouldn't go out of my way to watch the women's football. I did watch a bit of Tottenham at Manchester City a few weeks back. And I'd sometimes late at night I might watch Match of Day 2, and I think like the women's highlights on afterwards, and I might carry on watching it. Beyond that, not a lot really. If England are playing in a major tournament, I will try and watch the girls. Could Emma Hayes work in the men's game? Well, she's certainly got the knowledge, she's got the experience, she's probably more qualified than a lot of people who get jobs. It would take a massive push to get to that point, huge push. But I think the world is changing and we can get there. We can definitely get there. Mr. Anderson says, Neil says a Black Widow if you smash it with a book. James98 says, Chiesa reminds me a bit of Kaka the way he runs with the ball. He's possibly got a bit more power, Chiesa. Mr. Anderson says, continuing from previous question, if City did play a back five, who would you drop from the front six then? I mean, for me, you would just you kind of play floating players. So I genuinely I would play two wide attackers, and then in the middle of that you're playing three midfield players, and like I would have probably Rodri, De Bruyne, Foden centrally, and then what we got left: Grealish left, Mahrez right. That'll do. Teams ain't gonna get the fucking ball off them. What are you going to do with it? Pass you to death. They'll kill you. And obviously with wing backs, if Walker and Cancelo's going high, you've got people like Grealish and Mahrez who can drift in off the flanks and go and play in kind of half space 10 positions and stuff. You just flush and flood people out, I think. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of it, actually. Chris Jager says, what will Foden's best position be for England in the future? I hope, mate, it'll be in the centre of the pitch. FPL lad, great answer, James. Cheers. Answer the football stadium. Yeah, you're welcome. Sam Holden saying Lacazette starts. Thanks for that. Phil McMahon said, yep, it's been bought by the Forever Berry supporters group. To be fair, it only broke a couple of hours ago. Ha. If it's been bought by the supporters group, that's probably good news. That's probably extremely good news. And if so, I'm very pleased to hear that, Phil, and it's a good way to end the stream. Thank you very much. I will get into looking into what's going on with that. Maybe it will be Berry 3 years later, next September or something. Anyway, thanks very much, guys. Disappear. Go and watch the team news. I can't bother to cover it. You can all go and look at social media now and stuff. Next week's content will be main podcast Monday. Tuesday, People's Poll. Probably be non-fantasy related. Wednesday will be Sky Fantasy Football. Thursday, Clash of Correspondences. Liverpool versus Brighton with FPL Loco, Lord and FPL Seagull. Friday, Ash James will return to Friday. Deadline stream next week is, I want to say, 10 a.m. on the Saturday. Our Patreon podcast next week from intermediate tier. Our Q&A on Monday. Tuesday is, also to be confirmed. Wednesday is Tottenham. Thursday is a quiz. Friday will be our Game Week 10 preview, and there's additional videos every weekday on advanced tier. And I feel like I pleased the advanced tiers this week, so I'm pleased that you're pleased. If you're pleased, I'm pleased, and if I'm pleased, you're pleased, and everyone's happy. Thanks for the continued support. Yes, if you want to support our content, people say, hey, start your super chat. Join the basic tier on Patreon. Come and join the Planet FPL community. wo.patreon.com/Planet FPL. If you want more content, jump up to intermediate. Thanks all. Have a great weekend. Hope your arrows in green in whatever fantasy game you're playing. Ciao for now.